Oh, everyone.
Yeah, the breeze is blowing through the spring grass, the summer grass.
Oh, you're talking about the background.
The background.
So today, what are we going to talk about?
Well, as we warm the crowd up and we wait for people to turn up in the chat room, first of all, we apologise for the garbled mess. That was our first minute of the show last time. We were invaded by the Borg, and they've just found a way of integrating themselves in between each of the bits. So
the bits.
The bits, so you should have seen us, but probably you were subliminally suggested to go eat a plate of chips with what is it called?
Dip?
No, what's the Canadian dish with the curds and the gravy and the?
Yes, rats.
Are we old now?
It's the stuff I don't like.
Remember these things. It's that stuff.
Poutine.
Anyway, poutine. Yeah, poutine. Okay. Yeah. So sorry about that, but we're back with good quality. Hopefully. We don't know yet. Hang on. Does it look like we're okay? I think we're okay.
So, I'm in Dallas for 365 EduCon, and it's hot in Dallas. Just want to let everyone know, Dallas, Texas, USA. But if you are in Dallas, please swing by and say hello. I have 2 workshops Monday and Tuesday, and then some sessions this week on Wednesday through Friday. So love to see you. And I have stickers. So make sure you come see me. You will get show stickers.
Cool. Hey, when they have these EduCons at different cities, is there a slightly different theme that gives it a presence of, like, if it's in Dallas, does it have something very Dallas-y about it?
I mean, they do different types of themes for, like, the books or the shirts or, that they give out to people. But I will say, they're regional conferences, and so you definitely get different attendees.
Nice.
The one in Washington, D.C. is heavily government. Heavily federal government employees or contractors or whatever. And so that's the same for others. It's just different types of attendees and focuses. So,
That's cool. Well, have a great week, Daniel. I hope it all works out well, that your workshops go well, that people attend your sessions and learn more, that you learn more as people ask those questions. Let's get on with the show.
yes.
Welcome to the 365 Message Center show.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. We will not celebrate that today's episode is 250 because Darrell doesn't like celebrating 50s.
Not half centuries. No.
He does not like that at all. So we will not do that. However, we are at 250. That is the episode for today. And how are you doing, Darrell? You all right?
Good. Yep, like the grass blowing in the breeze in our background there. I'm just going with the breeze. It's a good day today. I'm just looking forward to the week ahead.
I had a coworker that every time, and eventually I stopped because he answered the same way, which was, I'm doing well. Any day above ground is a good day. So, yeah.
This is true.
But we weren't in the mining industry. Now, if he was a miner, then the opposite would be true, since you wouldn't be making money. I don't know. So with that note, let's take a pause here. Make sure everyone is going to click the thumbs up, click the like button down below this video or the audio podcast. Give us a share out to your community. Just click the share button, click the team or the, see, I did it again. Click the Twitter or Facebook or Insta or TikTok or whatever. Go ahead and share it. We are at 365 MCS on every one of those platforms. give it a share. Go right ahead. We covered this a few episodes ago because and we'll recap here, but basically, if you don't share, you don't care. So sharing is caring. Share the episode.
The expectations you have of our people. You're like,
they're good
I'm just
people.
glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. If
They're
you
good
share,
people.
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
people.
They are. We love the chat. We love to learn from the banter that goes on back and forth. Comments on the videos, chat and Twitter, it's all good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, this week we have a bit more to talk about than just
Than last
two
week.
messages last time.
So the first one is all about assigning seats. No, wait, that was a different message. This is the assigning breakout rooms for channel meetings. Really?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you did get it mixed up with last week's one or the week before. But it's all about assigning and getting ourselves ready for a productive meeting. Pre-assign channel members to breakout rooms, MC 408687. When you hold your meetings within a channel and team, you can set up breakout rooms. Now you'll be able to put people in those rooms before the meeting. Daniel, I like to use breakout rooms in some of my meetings, and also in particular in like the user group that I run for Loop, because I want to create more of an opportunity for people to share ideas, be heard and listen. And I think they're great. But one thing about breakout rooms is you don't want to be putting these things together in real time, live. If you've got any kind of design or thought to put people together to get a certain result for collaboration. What has your experience been of breakout rooms?
I think they're great because we all know there's different personalities out there, and some will speak up, some will not. And especially if the meeting has a considerable amount of people, could be even just 8 or more, right? For some that means they will not speak up. So doing breakout rooms, putting people in a position where they feel like their voice will be heard is great. And then also beyond that, getting the focus in the breakout rooms to be in a way where you can actually get things accomplished and not having to have so much input. Right, you get enough people to get the job done. So I really enjoy it. The negative thing is, man, when that countdown is done, you're out of there.
Yeah, you're beamed out.
Right? You're beamed out of that room. So
yep.
You have to be prepared for that. But
yeah. So with channel meetings, it's available to anyone in the team to attend. And in this case, you create a meeting. People may or may not add it to their calendar or respond. You're looking for that really as a meeting organizer. And if you've got a plan to try and get certain results out of your meeting and collaborate, you're probably going to plan to have certain people to either spark up that conversation, lead it, keep it going, facilitators of those small breakouts. So this is going to be ideal for that. It might also be quite useful for you might have a recurring stand-up meeting for your business group, depending on how big you are, and you can have these breakouts all assigned prior to the event. Imagine, rather than it just being a random, let's throw people together, but let's actually mix people up based on their different roles and things. Anyway, it's going to be a good feature to use. There's a example of what it may look like or will look like. Whoops, this is full screen that. So for those on the podcast, you go into the Breakout Rooms tab and you can create your rooms and you can assign your participants early. There are some limitations. There are a limit of 300 people max into a meeting with breakouts. So you're going to get that kind of overflow kickover if there are more people that intend to attend the meeting. And you won't be able to assign more than 300, but you certainly won't want to be assigning people 300 people to breakout rooms live in your meeting. That's just not realistic. Anyway, that is going to be available. Let's bring up, come on, back to this. Available. Preview will be rolling out early August and expect to be completed by mid-August, and standard release will begin rolling out mid-August. and expect to be complete late August. Cool. Daniel, tell me about these changes in Teams chat.
Okay, if you insist.
I insist.
Microsoft Teams. Start a Teams chat with distribution groups, mail-enabled security groups, and O365 groups? MC 408435. So the title on this is there's some interesting stuff here. So the first is, you look at this and go, start a Teams chat with distribution groups. Okay, that sounds new and cool. But then it talks about groups. Can't we already do that? So yes, this is really focused on those distribution lists, is what the new part of this is. But then the other weird thing is it says O365 groups, which, Microsoft announced, I think it was in second quarter maybe of 2020, that Office 365 groups would be renamed to Microsoft 365 groups. So anyway, we'll get beyond that.
So you could make the comment, what are we in the 2010s?
So this is, again, all about being able to start a Teams chat with a distribution list as the input, as the group that you're adding. This will be rolling out mid-August and completed late August. And there's some interesting screenshots here. That's part of the message. The first one, it's a blank new chat, has absolutely nothing in it. So not sure what the value is there. But the second one shows that what looks like they've added a distribution list, and it has expanded the members and showing now the members of that list in the to field for this message. I think here the reason why you might want to start, talking to your users about this is, one thing, Darrell, you had brought up was in our pre-show discussion was about, when you're going in and you start typing someone's name, maybe, and you start, if that name is starts off as the same name as a distribution list, then that list will show up, right? And give you some suggested, but also, keeping in mind when you're sending a message, if they're using distribution lists, that could contain a lot of people, and you're just managing this in a way to where, it's still going to have that limit. You can't send a message to more than 250 people. So if that distribution list has more than that, it's not going to work that way. But what do you think, Darrell? Is this something that we need to be talking to our users about, or coming up maybe with some governance or some helpful hints for our employees to use?
I think the guidance would be take care when you are going to use this. Otherwise, it's going to be like a reply all scenario with those larger distribution groups. If you're an organization of 250 or less and you use the all company distribution group and drop it into chat, that everyone's going to get that message. I think maybe that's the intention, but everyone's going to get that reply, pingity ping ping ping. Hopefully you've told people how to set their notifications or to mute a conversation. But
maybe
this is going to be useful, I think, for the smaller groups where you need to get a hold of people. They don't necessarily belong to the same team, but there is a distribution group that represents that group of people, and you want to just get that message across quickly. Equivalent within Teams is like your tag groups, and so you can grab a tag group and say, I want to start a chat with that. But if those don't exist and you've got an appropriate distribution group already that's of a good size, the guidance would be just take care, know who you're sending it to, take a look. It's going to unpack that list like we see in the screenshot here of 185 people plus yourself. And it's nice that this person's saying, we have a special guest coming this afternoon. Please join the call if you can. Okay, I will. Okay. Ping, 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 ping. See you there. Ping, ping, ping. GIF, smell. I mean, it's not smell.
Smell. Wait a minute.
Icon, GIF.
Nice.
Icon, Smellicon. No, that's something completely different. Yeah. That's what I think. Daniel, you asked me.
Yeah.
I told you. It's
No, that's good. I agree with you.
Too much information.
You're just, we're still having people reply all to emails that were sent to a great number of people just saying, okay, thanks. So, keep that in mind, knowing that this is coming for your organization.
Indeed.
So speaking of things coming to your organization, if you're using Viva Insights,
yes,
I could recommend some things for you. Can you, Darrell?
Please do, Daniel. Please do. I like to have things recommended to me because sometimes it's not like I don't care. I just sometimes don't have the brain cycles to remember some of these things. And one such thing might be sending praise to my team, to people in my team, to people I work with. Send praise. So that's what this is all about, recommending that you send praise, and it's using Viva Insights to do so. This is MC408437. You're going to see this experience if you visit Insights. I expect you'll also see it when you get your daily rundown, daily Viva Insights report thing. Hey, it's been a while since. But shall we just have a quick look at this, Daniel, what this looks like before we sort of go through some of these details? It is actually, I'm using Teams public preview, so available there. I'm in the Viva Personal Insights. This is, I'm not using a paid subscription where I get the full shebang here. Thank you for changing that up. But we've got activities for you, send praise. So we've been used to seeing that. Before, when I was checking this out, we can go through to send praise. And I've got this card here I can fill out and send praise to people, but down the right-hand side was do you want to set up a schedule to remind yourself to send praise? So let's go through to those settings. Now that I've set a schedule up, I just went through and thought, hey, maybe I need to send praise daily. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Like just reach out and send praise, and maybe it should be something that I should do in the morning to get myself in a positive mood and, get that other person in a positive mood as well. Hey, good job yesterday. Good job. You've done a great job. And, that's one way to set it up. You can see now, too, how you could go back in and change those settings. Yeah. But in the message itself, if I go back to this, let's go back to our screenshots here. Oh, maybe I should keep that open. There was some interesting suggestions which you were looking at and saying, I wonder how they're coming up with. Of course, it's Viva Insights. So Insights, it's going to get signals from the way that you work and who you work with, and whether they were meetings or calls or one-on-one sessions. But Daniel, tell me about what you think about some of these cards. Well, interesting.
Just the first off, in the screenshot on the message is talking about one send praise suggestion is for collaboration last week. And so the question there is, what is collaboration? You thought, that collaboration is probably being inside of a meeting together. Maybe we met part of a group. I thought, that could also maybe include co-authoring a file or something, or maybe I shared a file or they shared a file with me, or I don't know. So it would be interesting to understand the signals that are coming into this. The other one is a recommendation to send praise for collaboration and coaching last week. So, is that a one-on-one, meeting, with your manager, maybe?
Yeah. I think it's on the nose, really. If they're pulling these signals from Insights, collaboration is when you're meeting with a group of people or one person and you're just, working together. And a one-on-one for coaching as a manager is that it's you and I. And, so you wouldn't start your praise and say, hey, Daniel and Darrell, good collaboration last week. Good collaboration.
Yeah. I think this is, it's one thing I was thinking about this is, is this going to cause a flood of praises? I will kind of leave it for a little bit of whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, a flood of praises. But I don't think it will be a flood of praises. But we do have to remember that a good amount of our workforce, we're all humans, right? And well, maybe some robots thrown in there, but and one thing that we like to get is affirmation. Get praise from our peers, from our manager. That could be something that does give us a sense of self-worth and pleasure while we're at work, doing the work we do. And so I think for me personally, I do not give enough praise to my colleagues, to my managers, to my employees. I don't give enough praise. I know I don't, and I want to do better. And so could this be something that helps? Absolutely. Could this be something abused? Absolutely. I think, anything could be, right? So let's, I think, take it from you didn't ask this really, Darrell, but I think there's going to be some that ask, is this going to cause too much praise? I don't know, but I think we probably need more than is happening now. And at least in my experience, we need more. And so I think this on level is a good thing. Now, if this goes crazy and everyone is giving praise, just like Darrell has set up there in his demo of I need to send praise every day, and he sends praise to the same 3 people, so it gets over and over and over again. Will it be diluted? Will it mean less to that person because they get praise every day? Maybe, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, if we base it on suggestions, which are going to be based on the insights of who we've been working with. Maybe you frequently work with just the same people, but back to the recommendations and the reminders. A reminder could be just think of someone who has done a great job or you've enjoyed working with, and it could be anyone in the organization.
That's right.
But this is coming standard release, rolling out early August, so that's kind of why you see it in my preview experience. Completed mid-August, so everyone should have it shortly. And Daniel, we've got something to talk about in the SharePoint space.
Indeed, this is SharePoint, new site templates for team sites, MC 409422. Site templates are a thing where you can apply a look, get resources added to web parts configured in a certain way to your site after creation. These are the ones that even you've created a site and it asks you what template you want to put on this site. It does it after it creates the site. Or you can go back and say, I want to apply a template after you've already been using the site for a while. So they're introducing 3 new SharePoint team site templates to be available to the organization that will help your team, could possibly help your team work better or get a good start off on what they're doing. So these 3 templates are Crisis Communication Team, IT Help Desk, and New Employee Onboarding Team. So this is, you can see the descriptions there, things like New Employee Onboarding Team. Guide new employees through your team's onboarding process. So, maybe you have a communication site because there is an onboarding, communication site already there for your organization. Well, this team site template could be for, your group or your team, help people get onboarded when they get hired into your team. There is a large note there. This is no admin control on this. It's going to be there whether you like it or not. So target release rollout will begin in early August, expected to be completed late August, and then standard early September and late September with the ending. What do you think, Darrell, about team site templates, with these new ones? We already have some, but now we have these 3 new ones. do you use team site templates at all? Have you done that, or do you just give it a go and start configuring for whatever it needs to be?
Yeah, we often will build them from scratch rather than using the out-of-the-box ones, but these are good inspirations. And I like that this is, as you've said, at the team level, because it's one thing to be onboarded into your organization, but another thing to, hey, welcome to the adoption and change management team. Here's how we do things and where we have our related resources, etc. So yeah, cool to have that. Crisis communication at a team level, probably more an organizational level thing, but yeah. Well, I think these templates are useful.
If you think about, team sites, that's where we do our work or collaboration, and then often then we publish information at the comm site level. It doesn't have to be that way, but often that's the way it works. Maybe the communication team is managing crisis and how they're going to actually do it, and then that communication site could be the one that we've deployed before and that we have configured, could be where we're actually publishing it out to the organization.
Right.
I think just keep in mind these are just pre-populated content and web parts, but they can be edited. You can change them. This is just giving you a start for where you can jump off of and give you a head start to creating that perfect site that your team needs.
Perfect site. Is there a thing?
I think there is a perfect site. It usually only contains one member, and it's their personal playground. And so, of course, it's the perfect site.
Good segue, actually, because the last message we have is kind of about your personal playground.
And your activity.
And the activity within your personal playground. Okay, new activity column in OneDrive, My Files list view. When you go to OneDrive and you see your stuff. Well, MC408694 is going to introduce a new activity column. What do we see when we go to OneDrive at the moment? We don't have that column. What we can do if we want to see the activity on something is select the file, turn on the file or the information panel within your OneDrive, and you can scroll to the bottom and find some of that activity. That may be more relevant when it's a file that's been shared and people are dropping in comments, or they've updated something and you're collaborating on it. You're probably right across what your activity has been on your own files. Maybe not. Maybe this could be useful for you. But that activity column is going to surface that information up so you can see it at a glance, rather than having to select the file, dig into that panel, go further down. We are assuming, I know it's always dangerous to say the word assume, as for you and me, but we think that what this will look like is, apart from just being the column, it's going to surface the latest activity. So whatever that is, it will appear. But Daniel, is this one of those messages? We talked about this beforehand. It's a bit lacking in detail, isn't it?
It is. We'd love to see a screenshot here, of the mock-up or whatever, so that we could actually see what it's going to be, because there is that outstanding question. You just said we're assuming that it's going to be that same activity that you could see in the information pane. I think that's right. That's going to be that same, source of information that's going to be shown there. But what is going to be shown there? Is it just the latest one? Is it a listing of the last three? Is it, up to a certain amount of characters? Is it, what is it we're going to see there? And how useful is it? I hope it's very useful. And I just would like to know a little bit more. So, when it rolls out, maybe, we can revisit, but I think that's it would be great if we had a little bit more information.
Yeah. Well, I mean, looking at it, the examples they give about activity are the file has been shared, there's a user comment in there, there's an @ mention. All of these sorts of things usually trigger a form of a notification. So you'll get an email, or you'll get a ping somewhere in an office, or it's like this column's going to be helpful in that you can glance over and see it, but you probably have already heard about it beforehand.
Maybe.
So it's another place for you to catch up with the activity. Yeah. So how do you prepare for that? Hey, you'll see another column, everyone, and use it if you find it's useful. It'll be rolling out in late August and expect to be complete in mid-September. And that is the last message for the show, Mr. Glenn. Yes. I don't often call you that.
No, you may not. You must call me Daniel because we are friends. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of the show. And yes, you are part of the show. You share this show out with your friends. You make comments in the chat room. You leave comments on the show itself afterwards, and we have great discussion there often as well. So yes, you are part of the show. Give us a follow on all the socials at 365MCS, and make sure you mention us and tell us how we can improve the show, or how awesome you felt when you saw something, and now you know what you're going to do for your organization and how you're going to implement it. So we'd love to get that and be able to amplify you as well on the socials. So you are part of the show, and thank you for being part.
Yeah, well, we'll look to hear how 365 EduCon went with Dallas from you next week, Daniel. And until then, everyone, see you in the internet, the ether, out there everywhere. Bye for now.
Bye.